Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'm going to cover Power Man and Iron Fist number 76, published in 1981 by Marvel Comics. We start with a great Larry Hama, Jack Abel cover, and this is one of those stories that Marvel did a few times with Power Man and Iron Fist where they would be in actual separate tales within the same issue. Remember that only in Power Man number 50 did Iron Fist come along and begin their partnership, and the title changed from Power Man's own title to Power Man and Iron Fist, as Iron Fist's title had recently been canceled, with issue 15 being the last one published, that one being his Immortal Fracas against the X-Men with some excellent John Byrne artwork. So here we have 26 issues later. They're well into their partnership. And we have a pretty interesting issue here. I love this ad along the top for Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I was captivated by that as a kid. I love that show. And I really think it went a long way to keeping the Marvel Universe in the minds and hearts of many folks at that time, and really laid the groundwork for what came later, much later, with the Marvel Cinematic stuff and all the great animated stuff that followed it. So, yep, 50-cent price tag. I picked this up in a dollar bin at Ides last week. In one of my regular forays, my weekly forays down there. And we have a sensational solo adventure of the living weapon, Iron Fist. Very interesting credits. I snapped this up once I took a look at the credits for this first story. Mike W. Barr, script and co-plot. Chris Claremont, co-plot. Rudy Nebres, pencils, pages 1 to 12. Frank Miller, pencils, pages 13 to 14. Ricardo Villamonte, inker. Diana Albers, letterer. Ben Bean, colorist. Denny O'Neil, editor. Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. And if you are a Frank Miller completist, especially if you're a Frank Miller Marvel completist, this would be one to put on your list. It's 2 pages, but they're very cool once we get there. And I think Villamonte inks the second story as well with Power Man, but we'll get to that in a minute. The mood is joyous this fine spring day as Colleen Wing and Misty Knight, partners in Nightwing Restorations, Inc., cut the ribbon of the redecorated hotel which contains their offices. Too bad Luke couldn't make it, but someone has to keep Heroes for Hire running. But every situation has its dangers, and the joy of this moment blunts Iron Fist's battle-trained senses, leaving him unaware that he is being watched through a gun sight. Death scream of the Warhawk. So, in the title, we have the name of our villain, Warhawk, who we'll get to here in a second. Iron Fist is targeted with a blast from Warhawk's sniper rifle, as is Colleen Wing. Both are hit but not fatally injured. Misty Knight bravely, gamely makes for the roof as she spots where the would-be assassin is. Misty Knight's conclusion is proven correct as she dodges a hail of lead fired just behind her, a deadly rain that effectively pins down Lieutenant Raphael Scarfe, NYPD. That gun artist can keep me from helping Misty, but he can't keep me from calling for help. So Misty rushes up, thinks she has him cornered. Freeze, fella, or you'll wish you'd never been born. You ain't never seen me, frail, or you'd know I wish that already. The blue-skinned man turns, ignoring Misty's warning. He may have killed 2 people she cares for deeply. She doesn't give him a second chance. A blast from Misty's magnum, and he's dead. Isn't he? Not bad shooting for a woman, but not good enough. A cannon ain't good enough against Warhawk. You took 1 shot at point-blank range, mister. Let's see how long you can keep it up. All day if I need to, frail. And I ain't just tough, I'm strong, too. Misty barely avoids the bludgeoning rifle stock. Her opponent does not avoid her dragon stamp blow. He might as well have. You need to be taught manners, frail. Rule number 1, never mess with your betters. Lord, he's so fast. Gotta do nothing. Misty Knight is a fighter, a survivor. She has never given up in her entire life. But against Warhawk, she is nothing, and she knows it. So, Warhawk, let's take a second to discuss his curious dialogue here. He talks a lot like Wolverine and Sabretooth, and I think scripter Mike W. Barr has taken some cues from co-plotter Chris Claremont in sort of making this character's gruff patois that he speaks in very similar to theirs. Misty closes her eyes and waits for the killing blow, waits to hear her bones snap like toothpicks. Then she does hear wood breaking, but realizes finally that the sound comes not from within her, but from without. It is accompanied by a familiar voice. Misty, Misty. So Iron Fist finds Misty alive and Warhawk gone. Iron Fist explores the rooftop cautiously, senses alert for a trap, but he finds only some sort of asphalt. Warhawk must have left it behind. So they go down to check on Colleen, who's a little shaky but alive as she's being taken away from medical care. And the tar leads them, is a clue that leads them to the docks. And Jaron Hogarth, the super attorney that Iron Fist sometimes works for, tells him why. I spent some time aboard a large ship a lifetime or two ago. It's tar, Daniel, the type used to seal ropes. So the clue is left, and they find themselves at a seedy dockside tavern. Warhawk's playing games with me, Misty. He could have killed Colleen and me back there, but he didn't. And now you're going to give him another chance? You told me all about the time you first met this guy, Danny. So that, they say, is Marvel Premiere number 23. And I actually happen to have my Iron Fist Epic Collection. And again, and just to give you a quick look, here is that first appearance of, or the first fight between Iron Fist and Warhawk. Courtesy of Chris Claremont, Pat Broderick, and Bob McLeod. And pretty cool story. There's Warhawk there, his first go-round with Iron Fist. We get the usual flashbacks for Iron Fist. And part of Warhawk's origin is that he is a super soldier from the Vietnam era. And of course, this is 1981, so we're not that far removed from America's messy withdrawal from Vietnam. So they could still kind of do that, those callbacks to Nam, because the Vietnam War lasted from the 60s all the way through the mid-70s. So a lot of characters had their origins. Iron Man, another one come to mind. His origin was tied partially to Vietnam. And of course, as the Marvel Universe time marches on and the characters are not allowed to age, they have to kind of reset those things. But back to our story. Another clue is delivered by this character, Salty, who's an informant of Misty Knights. But he is unfortunately murdered by Warhawk with another rifle shot. And chaos ensues. They killed Salty. The guilt has been pinned on the wrong persons, as Warhawk doubtless planned. Now calm down, fellas. We didn't kill him. It was, why, of course you didn't kill him, old Salty darling, just because he fell over dead when no one else was around him. So Iron Fist is going to make short work of a bar full of half-inebriated toughs, and he does. It is not even a true test for a warrior, for his opponent's minds and bodies are slowed, dulled by alcohol. But if they continue to attack, he will show them that the finest martial artist the world has ever seen cannot be attacked with impunity. Well, I beg to differ. I would default to maybe to Shang-Chi on that, but we've covered their brawls, Shang-Chi and Iron Fist brawls, in a previous episode when I did my Deadly Hands of Kung Fu coverage. Check that out if you are interested. Good. Iron Fist ain't lost any of his moves. If anything, he's better than ever. Fine. I hate an easy kill. Hello, Fingers? Yeah, Salty's dead. You got the bomb already? Real fine. No, just deliver. Just deliver it. Don't set it. I'll take care of setting it off. So great artwork in this issue by Rudy Nebres. What a cool storyteller. It's his some of his telltale stylish flourishes are lost with the Ricardo Villamonte inks, but in some of the posing and the fluidity of the action, this definitely reminds me of some of the stuff he did for Iron Fist in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. The trail leads to this ship at the dockside, and of course Iron Fist is going to take the fight to Warhawk. Softly, young dragon, soft and careful. Warhawk knows you're coming, but there's no need to announce your arrival. Despite his skills, Iron Fist is not a wizard. He cannot know he is being watched, but he knows he has been found as his razor-sharp senses again serve him well. That noise, a trigger being pulled. Gotta move now. Well, I'd say Iron Fist, demonstrated by this display here, he must have senses rivaling those of Wolverine or the Beast or someone like that. But he evades the attack. I love these Saturday morning cartoon ads. Of course, as an 11-year-old kid, when this came out, I was watching all this stuff, flipping channels between the three networks. But this CBS lineup was great. I love the Tarzan Lone Ranger hour. It was really cool. And the Zorro Adventure hour was a lot of fun, too. And, of course, we loved Black Star. Awesome sci fantasy show. Trollkins didn't watch very much of it. So the fight now gets to close quarters, and we discover Warhawk has a very specific desire for setting this up. "'Cause I'm tired of living is why. Tired of being a freak, of having a body that can't feel pleasure, or having a face like a monster. This bomb will do me in a few minutes, Bo. Give me just enough time to take the only man who ever beat me to the grave with me. And Bo, that's you. Dragon's bones growing weaker already, but can't pass out." So, yeah, in this panel here, Iron Fist is hit with a tranq dart. So he's fighting one of his arguably most dangerous opponents, someone who outclasses him in power and matches him in speed, while under the influence of a tranquilizer dart that's slowly taking his body out of commission. So pretty incredible stuff here. Relying only on his countless hours of training, his instinct, and his matchless reflexes, knowing all the while he is fighting a losing battle. Their fight carries them below deck to the ship's hold, where Iron Fist permits a conscious thought to enter. Gotta find the bomb, defuse it somehow. His thunder kick is weakened by the drugs that flows through him, covering him like a warm blanket. He tries another, and another, and another, yet another, a flurry of kicks only a high-speed camera could catch. Warhawk takes a rain of blows that would kill most men, and is at last stunned. Can't pass out yet. Gotta deactivate the bomb, but I can't find it. Use power of Iron Fist. Daniel Rand gathers his willpower, and it is like a grasping at smoke. But at last, he closes his eyes to the bomb, to everything but his spirit, his chi, until at long last, his fist begins to smolder, to glow until it becomes like unto a thing of iron. And then he strikes. Oh, and I should point out, if you didn't notice, last Nebres page, first Frank Miller page. He does the last two pages of this story, and you can really see it here in the brilliant Miller choreography. And, of course, this crackle here, which he does very well. He strikes, not at the bomb, but at the wall of the ship, hoping water will deactivate the device, immersing it wherever it is, rendering it harmless. But even if that gambit is successful, he has disposed of only one killing machine, and there is still another. Heart of the Dragon, no! And if this panel isn't classic Frank Miller, I don't know what is. Just really great. Got to end this now. Put everything I have into a monkey blow and a hammer blow. Praise the dragon. I think that's done it. Underwater, Warhawk makes no sound, but the brine immediately around him is tinged a livid pink. Can't pass out yet. Don't know if water deactivated the bomb. For your information, Iron Fist, it didn't. However, the water did muffle the explosion, giving you time to leap into the roiling mist. Time to hope the explosion didn't take the dock with it. I can't send men into that, Misty. We'll have to wait until the smoke clears. But Raffe, what if he's hurt? What if... Iron Fist. Here's Warhawk, Lieutenant Scarfe. And Misty, yes? Now is it over? Can I pass out now? Sure, don't worry. I'll be here. Iron Fist relaxes at last, falling into the soft arms, a warm blackness, knowing he has at last reached this adventure's end. So fun little solo tale there with showing off the fight between Iron Fist and Warhawk with a bit of a twist to it. Now we're on to our second tale, which, as I am recording this on October 25th, a very fitting tale close to Halloween because Iron Fist is going to face full-on supernatural threat of a vampire. As Iron Fist trudges home, weary from his battle with Warhawk, his partner is about to encounter his own trouble in a sleeping Manhattan. Sleeping? Even 42nd Street sleeps, sometimes. In the hour or so before dawn, after the night, people have called it a night. Before the day, people are up and about. The area west of Times Square can be a quiet, sometimes even a lonely place. Tonight, there is one who stalks the shadows of this unusually busy thoroughfare. He is alone, but not lonely, and he is thirsty and a little bit desperate. But he is also convinced that if he waits patiently, the night will bring him prey. Come on, Cage. I'm studying filmmaking. Doesn't that make my judgment count for anything? Not tonight, it don't, GW. That picture was a dog, a smeller, one of the all-time bombs. But the Fangs of Baron Behringer is a contemporary classic. Why, the camera work alone. It was a turkey, and it was scrupulously faithful to all the vampire legends. Next time, I pick what movie we see. At last, the vampire strikes back. So our creative team is Mary Jo Duffy, Mark Bright penciler, Ricardo Villamonte again is our inker, Janice Chang letterer, Christy Shield colorist, Denny O'Neill editor, and Jim Shooter editor-in-chief. Great splash page here after this bit of intro exposition, and love these Doc Bright pencils. He's such a great artist, and he would become a regular on Iron Fist toward the end of the title and just do 24 or more issues. Really great stuff. And this might be one of his earlier efforts on Power Man and Iron Fist. Let me know in the comments if you know Doc Bright's exact run on Iron Fist, or maybe I'll look it up and place it in the comments. Hey, sucker, what do you think you're trying to do? So, obviously, the vampire's teeth cannot penetrate Luke's steel-hard skin, but Luke is also having a rough time dislodging this super strong vampire from him. And he sees he's also preternaturally agile. Oh, crud. Threw him as hard as I could, and he glided to his feet as easy as pie. Just like Baron Behringer. Now what do I do? Think, Cage, it was all in the movie. Vampires can't stand crosses, holy water, any religious relics, or maybe a clove of garlic. Brilliant, DW. You know, I never set foot outside my apartment without a pocket full of them things. Got any more bright ideas? Well, a wooden stake through the heart usually kills them. Now you're talking. Smash! You better hurry. I think he's getting ready to charge again. Don't worry. This time I'm ready for him. Great speed lines here. I love it, showing the vampire's furious charge at Luke. And take that. Hey, what gives? Sorry, Cage, I forgot. Vampires can turn into mist. And when they do that, they can't be hurt. But of course, he also ensorcels Luke with his powerful will, and he's searching for a way to somehow penetrate his steel-hard hide when DW gets his attention. with a cross. That's right, it's a cross. Now get back. Back off and go away. Go on, beat it, scram, shoo. But this vampire also uses his will on DW, and he is frozen in place. We have a hostess ad here. Back to our story. That's right, DW. Raise your chin just a little. But in holding this new victim in the grip of his will, the vampire has had to let go elsewhere. My head feels like 5 miles of bad road. DW, hey creep, ain't you get the message yet? You ain't getting no free meals from us. Now get lost. Thanks, Cage. And for some reason, the vampire thrown through this plate glass window is a little distressed. Now what? I ain't even touching him. The way he's cringing, you think he'd been scalded. You just don't know when to quit, do you? So Cage, pop, hits him right in the kisser, breaking his teeth. Too bad. Looks like you ain't going to be biting no more necks. Unless you find yourself a real understanding dentist. Cage, quick, grab a loaf of this Italian bread. That's what was upsetting him. Are you crazy? No, it's loaded with garlic. We only have to hold him off for a few more minutes. If he's not back in his coffin by dawn, he'll die anyway. Some nights, eating just isn't worth the trouble. There he goes. Do you think we should report this to anyone? DW, I'm not going to try convincing no city cop we were attacked by no vampire. I'm not sure I believe it myself. Anyway, his troubles are just beginning. He's heading for New Jersey. So they see this bat flying through the Lincoln Tunnel. Great, fun story. Really cool. I love these issues where you get 2 stories in one, 2 shorter stories. And as a bonus, we get 2 different creative teams. Little taste of Frank Miller artwork on Power Man and Iron Fist is always cool. Just a fun issue all around. If you come across this one, snatch it up because it is a great deal of fun. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, and I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.